All right, welcome back to Digital Perspectives, everybody. I want to continue the conversation we had in the video this morning where I went over with you guys about the fact that we could see the central bank digital currencies, the major currencies of the world, return to a gold standard in a cryptocurrency sort of way, as Judy Shelton has really said so many times before. And the reason I want to go back and touch on this is because I've had some comments in the videos where I don't want to say people have misunderstood because we're speculating, okay? So it doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean someone else is right. But what we are doing is trying to use what we know and the information we know to, based off the fundamentals that we can actually confirm, and then speculate from that point. But at the end of the day, it's important to remember to return back home to the fundamentals. So, all right. So before we get going, because we're going to cover some stuff here that's a building on this morning's video. And if you haven't seen this morning's video, make sure you watch it. It's quite compelling. We're going to get into that and more. But before we do, guys, beware of scams. Apparently, the scammers that were on YouTube are now paying YouTube to be able to put their ads, which are scams, in front of all crypto YouTubers' videos. So make sure that you understand what you're clicking on and what you're watching. Do not click on something. If it says it's a giveaway, more than likely it's probably a scam, not a giveaway. And if there's anything being given away, it's going to be your crypto in the end. So please be aware, whether you're on Twitter and the recent hack that happened on Twitter, make sure that your social media, your platforms that you're on, whether it's investing or otherwise, email, everything, is as secure as can be. All right, so with that public service announcement, I want to let everybody know I am really excited because I am just finishing up a cryptocurrency educational course, and I am very, very excited to be able to bring this to all of you. And let me see if I can actually get this up here so you can see it. Here it is right here. So guys, make sure you sign up. The link is in the description box underneath all my videos from now on, starting today. It is really going to be a cool thing. I mean, it's going to be reoccurring monthly newsletter. It's going to be all the latest insights and news for cryptocurrency so you can get the real quick brush up. I'm going to throw in my top picks for crypto and top picks for private pre-IPOs. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun what we do in this, and the video that you get will be exclusive to the newsletter. So I'm really excited about that. So make sure if you guys sign up for that and get all the coolest stuff. And I will also make sure that you have availability to all the links, that if you have anything that you need, we can help you get it and try to get you the best deal on it. So, all right, let's get back to it with the content. So let's do this thing. All right, so Europe has been preparing a global gold standard since the 1970s. Well, isn't this just fancy? This builds on the conversation from the video, as I said this morning, with the vote for Judy Shelton in another 5 days to be confirmed as a Federal Reserve chairperson. And that doesn't look like anything's going to hold up her confirmation from the last article we've all reported on about that. Now, with that being said, what does that look like? And we're going to take a look at that again. I did write out the rough framework about what she has proposed in that Jack Kemp talk that she gave back in 2017. We're going to just quick overview that here in a second. But what I wanted to highlight about this article that you're looking at here, Europe has been preparing a global standard since the 1970s. I couldn't agree more. And the reason is because some time ago, it was last summer, Cryptopolis and I talked about the CBGA, which is the central bank gold agreement. And this may have even been the article here, but basically the central banks had a gold agreement that was originally signed in 1999 to limit gold sales and help stabilize the market for precious metals. They now, and this was as of last summer, discontinued. They said that they didn't need to continue the central bank gold agreement because the market was steady enough that there wasn't a need for the agreement and gold wouldn't be a concern that it would move one way or the other too much. right? So, which really at the time when Cryptopolis and I reported on it, I remember making the comment that it seemed like what they in fact were really doing were saying by lifting the agreement that they were really opening up a back door for this monetary collapse, liquidity crisis that we all have been talking about and seeing coming for quite some time. Now, with that aside, that takes us to, we all know Judy Shelton. We know this video here. I'm going to play just a few seconds where she says it. Let's hear it.
I like the idea of a gold standard. I mean, it could be used in a very cryptocurrency way.
That's an enormous statement. So this woman is potentially going to be confirmed to the Federal Reserve with that mindset in the next 5 days. So that's pretty interesting. Now, with that being said, let's keep this moving because I want to just bring up again, if I could, for the talking points, I want to bring this up so we can discuss it. So let me get this happening and pulled over here. So again, just to go over this, because I want to make a look, there's been a lot of speculation and theories, and this is just one more. Okay, that's what we need. That's what the XRP community needs, is one more speculative theory. Well, you know what? Price hasn't moved, so what's the harm? Okay, so here we go. So just going over this again. I know I did this morning, but stay with me because I want to try to see if I can bring an even clearer idea to what I am seeing here. So she talks about a gold-backed bonds for each major currency. She create a new financial instrument of a 5-year bond that'd be gold-backed, physically redeemable for 1 ounce of gold or the cash equivalent. Each country would have its own bond market backing their dollar, using gold as a neutral reference point to establish consistent measurement behind all currencies rather than each country having the ability to manipulate their currency at will. The truth is they could still manipulate their currency, but if you bought the bonds, you could choose to be redeemed in gold, which then the manipulation of the currency really falls back on its own government and the citizens of that country. So it's a pretty solid idea, to tell you the truth. So, all right, this guarantees pretty much that they will always receive the proper equivalent to 1 ounce of gold. The system would be designed specifically to keep individual countries in check for currency manipulation. Like I said, should they manipulate anything, it seems to me that the real rub would be the effect on the citizens of that country, you know, if that currency is manipulated, because people trading and buying and holding bonds could choose for the redeemable gold and they don't have to hold the currency from the other country. Now, again, some thoughts I added to this was, will this system be built on a universal ledger like the XRP ledger? I still see a need to settle a neutral asset like XRP, which I believe is a currency, as Christopher Giancarlo does. XRP could settle this entire system, ensuring that each country's currency remains within its own system. Not that you couldn't hold another currency, but at this point there is no need to. XRP could settle the bond markets as well as all trade. Overall, I could see this system coming together, but one big point to consider is gold is $1,813 right now. What do you think this new bond market would do to the price of gold? Okay, so I know there have been theories that have been talked about and considered that people believe that XRP could be backed by gold. I'm more inclined to believe this, what we're talking about here. It doesn't mean I'm right, and it doesn't mean someone else is wrong, but I just want to have the conversation and see if I can bring a little more clarity with this video than the first one maybe. So some people believe, and not pegged to gold. Some people believe XRP will be pegged to gold. I don't believe that either, but some people believe XRP will be backed by gold, which is a different scenario. So reserves of gold backing XRP, giving it a certain value. Certainly could happen. I don't subscribe to it, but nevertheless, I don't think it'll be backed or pegged to gold, XRP. So, all right. So what I do think currently right now, or am at least considering and speculating on, is that the entire central bank system, the digital dollar system for the world, will be backed by gold. At least the 4 or 5 major currencies of the world will back their digital currencies by gold. and a new bond market, which brings on a new financial instrument in the bond market. The bond market, I remind you, is the backbone of money. The backbone of money. If you don't have a strong bond market, you don't have anything. So the reality is that it makes a lot of sense to me that they would go to a gold standard in this way to bring the confidence back to this system, to this new back to the future system. This would inspire everybody to move to the digital dollar, participate in this new bond market that is driving the price of gold at this point through the roof. Jim Rickards has said gold would need to be $10,000, $15,000 or more in order to accommodate the backing of a new system because of all the debt and liquidity crisis and such. And he talks about, in the video I played earlier this morning, about a 40% ratio of gold backing the monetary system or broad money of the world between the major currencies, and estimates that that price of gold per ounce should be about $15,000 or so. So in this speculation and theory here, I start to imagine that where would gold get its price from? Well, it would get that driven price from $1,813 right now, right? From the fact that they're creating this new bond market for gold to back the major currencies of the world. I believe this event alone could send gold into a frenzy. A frenzy. If this, in fact, is the way it goes, it could send gold into a frenzy. Now, a lot of people might say, hey, you're really out there on the thin ice speculating. Am I? Because in 5 days, they're going to vote on a lady who thinks this. Now, not the part about $10,000 or $15,000 an ounce of gold, but certainly in the way to implement currencies back to a gold standard with bond market behind it. So this gets really interesting to me, guys, I have to say. And one thing I wanted to share here before we close out is this. And you've seen this document before, this picture, this image. And thank you again to Liquid XRP for this. But look at the caption above here. All the money. How XRP gets its true value. All the money. All the money. They had conferences. Ripple has had hackathon conferences with shirts made that say all the money. They tell us all the time to our face that it's about all the money. Whenever Bob Ways asked about how high he thinks XRP could go, the first thing he says, I don't know, well, how much money is actually in the world? All the money. So the reason I bring that up is to try to drive home the scenario that if in fact we go back to a gold standard behind the major currencies of the world, and if in fact XRP is used to settle these transactions in between, and XRP ledger is used as a main protocol, a universal ledger for this new financial system, isn't the fact that all the money is on the universal ledger is where the value actually comes from? Isn't that maybe this in fact is what it means when they say all the money? All the major currencies being on the ledger backed by a gold bond market that's physically redeemable by gold. This would allow XRP to have a value even higher than gold, even when gold, if it were to reach $10,000 or $15,000. Because it will still serve a larger market than just the currencies. We still talk about settling derivatives market, right? And all these other markets. It allows it to soar past and even higher in my estimation of that. So to me, that's a pretty remarkable thing to consider. And the other thing I wanted to say is right while we're talking about gold and all the money, I want to remind you that I Trust Capital just recently started selling physical gold IRAs. Physical gold IRAs. Just thought I'd drop that on you before we close out of here. Remember, again, if Judy Shelton gets this seat and she gets to implement some of these ideas that she had, maybe, just maybe, Ripple's been telling us right to our face all along what's going to happen. The Universal Ledger XRP ledger is going to carry and house all the money. All right, guys, hit the like and subscribe. Share with somebody you know. I'll catch you on the next one.